why can't, in a comic book realm, I admire Iron Man and I'm going to try to be Iron Man. I'm going to build me a suit like Iron Man.
Yeah.
And pursue in her passion to be an Iron Man. She's a genius. He's a genius. She proved how big of a genius she is by creating her own suit, but all we get out of it is, or all the people get out of it is, we don't need another a black Iron Man.
Yeah,
it was a newspaper article written up about this,
Right.
And
she was already an established character.
Right. Well, no, at that time when the newspaper clipping came out, it was Marvel was releasing.
Oh yeah.
She was about to.
They were about to move. I'm talking about, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sitting here like, why can't a young black girl? We tell everybody, you could be the president of the United States, and Marvel had enough balls to show us that, okay, that is a good, you're right, and we're going to move in this aspect, but you got some, stuck in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s type mentalities. She ain't my Iron Man. Yeah. My Iron Man is Tony Stark. He white. He look like me.
And that's what I don't. I guess this is my thing. Okay, okay. You remember back in the days when you looked at a movie and they said, we need a drug dealer or a pimp.
Mm-hmm.
Who did they get?
You got black people.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, you got black people. And when anybody who's an actor tell you that
but that's the thing. But so back in the days, if they needed a drug dealer or pimp, they got a black person. If they need a doctor or a lawyer, then it's a white person. And then we progressed along, and then things balanced out. So it seemed. And now it kind of flipped to a point now. Okay, if I say, well, I'm making a show and about a black doctor, and his wife who's a lawyer. I'm kind of describing the Cosby Show, but I'm making a show about a black doctor and a black and his wife, and they're both black, and she's a lawyer, he's a doctor. And said, oh well, y'all are pushing an agenda, and I'm like, are you saying that there is no doctors and black doctors and lawyers? I mean, what is your point? You see what I'm saying?
You get into a whole different kind of thing there, because I remember when Fox first came on, all Fox had was black shows that were fun, entertaining, and not stereotypical. And all those shows got pretty much axed at once.
Yeah.
But what you're trying to argue with, and what we all try to argue with, and why we can't put our head around it, is because that's a level of ignorance. It's a level of ignorance saying that why do we need to have this hero? Because this hero doesn't look like normal heroes. And so what is your idea of a normal hero? Obviously, your normal idea of heroes is that they have to be white, and in most cases, male. And, in this hobby of this interest of sci-fi and comic books and all this, you always think that, what, everybody's nerdy. Nerdy doesn't see color. Nerds don't see differences. But the sad fact of the matter is that ignorant people in every genre,
right,
that ignorant people that absolutely see those differences. Mm-hmm. And it's sad. It's sad. I don't, to be honest, when you mentioned the She-verse, I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it. And that caused me to think about it a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with it.
I mean, listen, I was literally, because I'm a real geek. I watch all the videos. I watch Screen Crush and all these different YouTube videos that really analyze the Marvel movies and all this other stuff. I watched this, and in my travels through this, I stumbled on the video, and I was like, they said MCU, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? And they said, well, the number of women that are replacing the male characters and becoming heroes and this like that. And I'm like, so I mean, I'm like, I don't understand the point. What is your problem? You're mad that the fake guy died, and this fake woman is stepping up and taking his place. Or is that so? Are you saying that you can only idolize a white male? You can only look up to this guy right here. You can only look up to him, but with this woman who's something. Well, they're acting like men. I'm like, how are they acting like men?
Yeah.
She has a superpower. She has a special ability. She's super smart. Black Widow fucking kicked ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like she did her nails the whole thing and just walked through the whole Avengers. So I don't understand. What are you talking about? I guess that me and my uncle say, I'm scared to understand where you're coming from, because that means I'm stupid. I'm as stupid as you.
Well, I'm still having to explain to some people that Black Panther was not created as a character to represent the Black Panther movie.
Oh yeah.
I've been in that conversation more than once. I've been in that conversation. I shouldn't have to be in that conversation at all. I still deal with some people who have not seen the Black Panther movie because they're uncomfortable with the images that you see in the images. So we just say it. I mean, they're uncomfortable seeing all these Black folk that apparently are in Africa and not starving. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've literally had to go through the whole thing about how Stan Lee created the character and thought about changing the name because of all the stuff that was going on at the time. I mean, it's just crazy. But once again, that's ignorance. That's ignorance. And unfortunately, that's not something that you're going to be able to really get past. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I mean, and you have to continue to educate and move forward.
Ruins it. It kind of ruins it when you have people who just can't accept, okay, well, I know that the standard used to be a white male was my hero. He was the only one that can save the world. It's just like I'm gonna tell you. You remember in Endgame when all the females that was in that frame for a second, it was a Rescue, it was Mantis, Shuri, Valkyrie, and Captain Marvel. They were all in that one frame for a second, and they was backing up. I think that's when they took the what's on the gauntlet from Spider-Man.
Right.
And it was all those females. They were standing together and they was fighting. I went to work and the guy was like, "Man, I didn't like that. It's just like they was kind of pushing an agenda." And I'm like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
You know what? That scene represented a team
from the comic books.
From the comic books, it would not quite those particular characters, but it was called A-Force,
right? And
they were all a female Avengers group, to say less, but even that book, when that scene came out, that A-Force book shot up, because people were thinking we're going to have an all-female, movie, maybe.
Right.
It's, spec stuff.
Right.
But yeah, some people just, if it ain't about them and what they're dealing with, then it's stupid. Let's I know I said something about Superman being an alien and he could have been green, but we made him a white man. But then Wonder Woman was made out of clay, and they made her a white woman.
Right.
So
Yeah. And that's one of the things I just don't. I never understood that logic and that realm of thinking of that you can only this one gender and this one ethnicity can be the superheroes. It's just like when they were doing talks of showing the black Superman from the different universe. People were flipping out about that. I'm like,
They were flipping out.
like, why they gotta
They were.
like why they gotta have a black Superman? I'm like, this is from a different universe. So of all the universes,
and to make it worse, there was two of them. There's two different.
Yeah. Like, so of all the
Black
multiverses
Superman.
and all the universes, you think they're all white? They're all going to be white Superman? But I'm like, I don't.
Well, the
I
answer
mean,
to
I
that,
don't.
Carlos,
It's one of those things that don't fit in my mind. I think
the
people
answer to
focus
that,
on.
Carlos, is yes. That is exactly what they think, and that's exactly what they think. And I wish I could say that this is something that's unique, but this kind of ignorance, this kind of prejudice is out across the board.
And I said something a couple of episodes ago. It's like when I mentioned about the switch from Lake Fury being from white to black, and then a few other characters also switching races, whatever. Like also Kang, he in the comic book he was white, now he's black, and that and I made a comment that I'm all for it as long as it's great, as long as the changes are great and the ethnicity have nothing to do with the character. I'm all for it, and that's the same thing with gender, and that's the same thing with anything. I don't I don't want it to. I don't want these switches to water down the character or make any or make the storyline worse or anything. I want it to be better, and so far everything's been great.